Well, okay then. Good morning. All right. Well, I had a couple of things going on this morning. I had our builder came. He had a couple of little things to finish up. Some cabinet drawers that we were waiting on getting built. Had to be measured around plumbing stuff. Anyway, those are done. And I had a meeting with somebody about some foliar feed fertilizer products and stuff to add and trying some things on. Yeah. Anyway, we got that. Well, I don't have it figured out, but I know what I need to figure out now, and so I need to sit down and do that at some point. But we're going to keep working on this planner. So it is now 10 o'clock already. I'm going to start washing some meters to help Brock out a little bit. We might get 4. That's my goal. Can I get 4 done in the next hour before he gets here and let him do the rest? And then I'm going to work on other stuff on the planter. I think I'm going to pull apart that one cylinder that I found that was leaking the other day and try and fix that. We'll do another one while I remember how to do it. So we'll get some stuff set up here and start washing. So I'm getting set up here, get a couple tubs of water. We've got hot water in there. We'll put some soap in it. And then this one is just clear water for soaking, rinsing. So we bring our meter over here and then we start disassembling. Pull this off. Pull the door off and pull the seal out of the door. Pull the hub seal. Pull this little clear window. Open the hopper. 2 hands. Pull the screen. Pull this elbow. That's the dirty part. Pull this bottom. Seal. And pull this little door off. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to disassemble it. You could pull these brushes out. You could take this handle off and that stuff. We're not going to do that because I can almost guarantee that handle will break if I try and take it off. But that's good. So first thing we're going to do is look it over. I'm going to turn this handle, make sure everything turns freely. It does. So that's good. And then we're going to wash. Let's start with this stuff. We'll kind of one at a time. I've got some brushes here. We can brush them off and we'll put them in there to rinse them and spray them down if we need to. Okay, I got the pile of pieces done. Now we're going to just spray the housing out. Might get the brush and brush on it a little bit, but I'm not super concerned about most of this. Okay, now we can put it back together. One piece at a time. Okay, now that's all back together. This is all probably a little bit excessive on how much we take it apart to clean it out and stuff. There are 2 main things that I am worried about and that we need to focus on, and it's this seal, specifically right in here. But this seal gets dirty and stuff, and we need that to make a good seal because that's where our vacuum hose attaches here. And it's sucking air out of there through the plates and holding the seed to the plate. We need it to have a good seal to get good seed spacing and singulation and population control. The other one is this hub seal, and this is basically sealing the other side of the plate so that it sucks through the holes and not just from all around the plate. And we want to make sure that those are both clean and in good condition. So I think this planter, they all seem to be okay. On the corn planter, I think we've got to replace a fair bit of these hub seals because I remember them getting kind of loose and worn last year. So, all right, I'm going to close the door and put the lid back on, and we'll set this off to the side. So then we take them and set them back there out of the way. The other thing we need to do is pull the seed tubes, which, nope, can't do it with one hand. So that comes out. You can see it's dirty. Unplug our sensor. Now this does have an electronic sensor on it, so I don't really want to just soak it in the water. I'll kind of dip it in there, dip the other end in. But when we have this fancy brush that is a seed tube brush, and you can stick it down in there and use it to clean it out. Now that I dipped it, you won't be able to tell, but you get seed treatment and dirt and dust buildup on these, and there's that electric sensor in there, and it needs to be able to see, and so we clean them out. Better. And we'll set this on top of the meter for it to dry. On to the next. Well, I got 3 done. I didn't get 4 for you, Brock. Sorry. So he's going to keep working on these. I am going to clean off our welding table over there a little bit, and then we're going to have to pull a cylinder off, I think. Well, this is going to be no fun. We're after that cylinder because it's got oil on the bottom. It's clearly leaking. I've got a seal kit for it. We're going to put it in it. But I can't even see the hoses. So we've got the stops in, all the weights off. So this tire is just floating. We can take it apart, but I got to be able to get in there, and it's not a fun one to get to. So let's crawl in there and see what we can find. Oh yeah, there's one up there and one down there. Ugh. Well, I came around the front side here, and I could get to the top one quite a bit easier. And the bottom one, both of them really, have these nice short little hoses with a connection right there. So I just took it off here. We're just going to take that hose with it, since I can't get in there very good to spin that one off. So, all right, we need to pull cotter pin so we can pull our, pull the cylinder out. Snap ring. They're snap rings, not cotter pins. I know what they are. That's okay. Oh, we got her loose there. I'll pull the top pin and it'll come out. The question is, where's it going to go and how heavy is it? We're going to get it. So as it turns out, when you know what you're doing, they come apart a whole lot easier. So we got this, took that snap ring off, popped it in. It pushed in really easily. And then put that spacer in there and pulled it out. It did catch on this one a little bit, and we boogered it up and took a little force to get it out of there, but came right out. So now I'm debating on how to get this nut off, because that's what we couldn't do on the last one. However, this end is welded on. That is not coming apart, and if it does, we got much bigger problems. So if I put this pin in on the planter and get the 1-inch impact on there, I mean, it's the only thing that can move. So I think that's what we're going to try. Well, would you look at that? It came off. Sweet. Now we can pull that off and get all the seals replaced like we need to. So I went ahead and put all the new seals on the end cap there. That has to go on this cylinder first before we put the plunger end. I don't even know what you call it. Back on. So that is most likely the seals that were leaking. Could have been the ones around the outside. Most likely it was the ones around the ram in here. Those seals. So hopefully those ones will fix our problem. But you don't take a cylinder apart and not replace the seals. So since we have them, we're putting them on the ram as well. One other thing to note, I am lubing these seals up, and I know this is a dirty hydraulic oil container, but I'm just dipping my fingers in the oil on there a little bit, which is the oil that came out of the cylinder, and we're coating them up. I do that on all of them. I do that on all O-rings before I put stuff together. I didn't show it the last time, but it is getting done. All right, well, we got all new seals in there. It's kind of loosely back together. I need some red Loctite for on there. There was some on it. That's why they're so hard to get off. And we need to inspect the barrel and just make sure that's all clean and everything in there. But it's lunchtime, so I'm going to go eat lunch. We'll come back and take care of this afternoon. I'm back from lunch. How's the meter washing going, Brock?
They're going. We got 6 more.
6 more. See, you're making progress. You got 2 hours. You'll be fine. All right, well, we hammered that end cap back on the cylinder. Look, there's one of our spacers that fell out when we took it off. I'm gonna need that in a minute. So we gotta put it back in the barrel and get them snap rings put in where they need to go. But we're about done with that job. Well, it's going, but it doesn't want to go easy, so I'm having to tap it. I keep thinking it's just gonna go at some point, but it doesn't. Okay, well, the cylinder is back hanging in there. Hoses are hooked up. The top is hooked up. We don't have the bottom in yet because I got to run the hydraulics and suck it in to get it to line up with the slot in there. So that's what we're going to do now, I think. All right, we got that cylinder hooked back up. But look what it did on me again. It's all crooked because those wings want to pick up and gets out of phase, and it's a problem for me. So I went to the computer and did a little research, and somewhere on this page, or wait for it, this page, one of those O-rings on one of those valves somewhere, or maybe a couple of them, are bad. The question is, how do you know which one? I have no idea. No idea. I can narrow it down a little bit because there are some labels on some of the parts diagram here, like marker valve. Well, we can probably eliminate that one. Bidirectional valve. No idea what that means. Automatic marker valve. There is also a label. See, that block in that parts diagram is up underneath the platform in the CCS tanks here. Let me climb up. It is right there. And you can see all of those solenoids and fittings and valves and, oh yeah, there's lots of them. On 6 sides of that thing, there are valves sticking out of it, or at least hoses and ports. And I don't know, I think maybe this one is causing our wing wheels to settle and get out of phase, because I think I saw that somewhere, but I'm not sure. There is a little chart here to tell which solenoids are energized when the switch in the cab is doing different things. That's kind of helpful. I think it is this fold transport solenoids, so 8 and 9 it would be, because I don't know what other ones of these it could be. The rock shaft is the fold for those units. Wing wheels, obviously, is the wings. Those could be the ones that are settling. I don't know, but I kind of want to figure it out. So if I could narrow it down to some, I could at least get the seals around, and we could take 1 or 2 of them apart and see if we can find a broken O-ring. And I know what causes this. Dirt on my face. So the problem is these planters require constant oil pressure or flow. So you set your hydraulics in the cab to constant so that it's always pumping oil, always flowing through there when it's down, because that's what runs the fan on the CCS to blow the seed from the center tanks to the row units. So that's easy for me to figure out or to do and to turn that on. The problem is, when you lift up on the ends, it's still in constant mode, at least with the 8430, the tractor we had been using. And if you stop on the ends and leave that in constant and you don't shut it off when there's no oil flowing anywhere, it puts too much pressure and builds up too much heat in the oil, and it blows out those O-rings. And so, like with this tractor now, you can actually split that. So you can have constant when you click the planter down to plant, and a time to detent, so it only runs for 5 seconds or 10 seconds to lift it out of the ground, and then it shuts off, so you don't have that oil heating up and blowing out your seals. The 30 series tractors, we didn't have that option. But anyway, that's what causes it, and I just don't know which one. I don't know which one it is the problem. Now, a lot of those seals in that valve block have already been replaced. Which is why we did the seals in this one wing cylinder, because I thought there's a chance that it's internal in the cylinder causing those to leak down. There is also a valve in here, I believe, or a pressure relief or something. That could have a valve or a O-ring that's leaking. But otherwise, it's in that block, and we just got to narrow it down a little bit and pinpoint it and see if we can just get some seals. The problem is there's multiple different solenoid valves on there that have different O-rings, and you know, like this one and this one and this one are all the same, and this one, number 33 there, and there's a seal kit for valve number 33. But then like here, we've got an O-ring number 15 and an O-ring number 18. Now those are on hydraulic hose fittings, so that's a little bit different. Here we've got a seal kit number 35. There's so many. Here's a solenoids number 4, or number 12 there, 33. There's a 4, number 5. So it looks like if we got a seal kit for a 4 and 33, that might Now there's a 3 that's a different one. So it's just so hard to know which is the one that's causing our problems. And then I don't know if any of those are the same as these part numbers over here. They're going to be different numbers because they're on a different diagram. Then you got to go here and say, okay, number 4. And here, yeah, so let's see, valve number 4 on this page is right there. And if you come over here, here's the part for the valve, and then it says valve kit. I'm guessing those are 2 different numbers, and you can read through the subs there to see which ones are which, but and then there's an O-ring kit for use with one of those part numbers for this one. And then there's a seal kit for use with a different number, but that different number is not even on here. It's one of the sub numbers. How do I narrow this down to exactly what we have? Check it out. Brock got all our meters and seed tubes washed. So that job is done. We did not get the contact gap done today, but that's okay. And we need to get the power washer and wash down in these seed tubes on the front rank like I did the back ones. So it's gonna have to be Monday's project. We didn't get as far as today as I had hoped, but we did get a lot done. And I'm gonna dig into these hydraulic outlets a little bit more. So it's still early, it's only 3:30, but I've gotta go. My wife and I've got an appointment to pick out some stuff here this afternoon. So yeah, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed everything this week. Next week promises to be busy again. Hopefully a few different projects. We've got to get this planter finished up, and we should. Another good day, and we should have it wrapped up. And then we're gonna get that truck fixed. We've got to get the sprayer in the shop. We've got to get tractor, new tires on that tractor. And not to mention, we've got a corn planter that's got to get gone through here soon too. So weather's going to be nice next week. It's going to make everybody itchy to be outside doing something. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Questions and comments, leave them down below. And if you would please hit that subscribe button for me, I'd appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday.